What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're finally going to be doing our Super Bowl 55 preview video. It's crazy that I still just cannot believe that the season's already just flown by. Feels like just the other day when I had the idea to start doing these previews, and it's been a really fun journey, so I hope you guys have enjoyed these videos, as they've come out. But without any further ado, let's just get straight into the Super Bowl matchup. So unless you've been living under a rock, you'll know that the Super Bowl matchup is between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a matchup that I did not want going into the playoffs. It's probably the one I wanted least. Nothing against the Chiefs, I think they're a great team, but my thing is I always love to see different teams winning, or at least making it to the Super Bowl. Like I'm tired of dynasties. But here we are, the Chiefs are the start of a new dynasty. They're here for the second straight year, and it could have been the third straight year, had it not been for that close game against the Patriots in 2018. So they are a dynasty, I would say. I mean, if they win this, they are definitely dynasty status. They've been winning a lot in the past couple years. And then on the other hand, you have the Buccaneers, who have not been good until this year. They sold out. They bought all the free agents. They traded for Gronkowski. It was interesting how they built their team, and I believe I mentioned in the last video I was not a big fan of it. It's just not my favorite way to build for a team because they're totally sacrificing their future. There's not that many people on that team that are going to be there in, say, I don't know, maybe 5 years. And that's not what you want in a football team. Their window is now and maybe next year, and that's about it. Because they're going to lose some guys, They're going to lose Brady in the next couple of years, maybe even after this. All reports point towards him coming back for another season. But maybe he'll want to go out if they win. I don't know if he will, although I think it would be really smart to go out on top, prove that you're the GOAT. And by the way, I'm not going to share my opinion on if he's the GOAT or not. I think statistically it's arguable, but, as far as winning championships, no one's better than Tom Brady. And so, he's going to be out the door soon. Gronkowski, I don't imagine is going to be there for very longer. He could be out after this year. He's a pending free agent. Like you have some older guys like Levante David and Jason Pierre-Paul and Ndamukong Suh that are all going to be heading out in the next couple of years. This team doesn't. I mean, they have some good young players. Don't get me wrong, like Devin White and Antoine Winfield and Tristan Wirfs, but it's just, they're not entirely built for the future like the Chiefs. The Chiefs. They're the guys they've extended recently, with the exception of Travis Kelce, are all built for the future, like Chris Jones and Sammy Watkins and Patrick Mahomes. It's just the Chiefs are more planning for their future. Like they signed Mahomes to a 10-year contract. It's insane. It is never in the NFL has a 10-year contract been fully fulfilled. We'll have to see if his will. I'm under the impression that it will, just based on his loyalty to the franchise and how they treat him and everything. I just think that he'll actually play it out. The other teams who signed quarterbacks to those deals are just, it didn't really look like they were going to be played out from the start anyway. Like, I believe, if I'm not wrong, Brett Favre had a contract that he signed like that, and he was already old at the time. It was kind of interesting. So I can't confirm that Brett Favre was one of them, and he happened to be 32 at the time of signing, or around 32. And he only ended up playing 6 of the 10 years, which is more than the other ones had been. I believe Michael Vick had one, and I think it said Dante Culpepper had another. But generally, those contracts do not get played out. However, this is a very different situation. Mahomes is getting this money early. And that's because they've proven that they can win with him, and he will lead their team to dynasty status, out the gate. So I think it's a really wise move to lock him up like that. If he'll play out the contract, we'll have to find out. But as of now, I think that he will. And, my point being with all this, sorry about the tangents, is that, the Buccaneers are not as built for the future as the Chiefs are. So I just like the way that the Chiefs built up their team to this point more. And plus, I think that they're going to win. The Buccaneers defense is fierce, but I just don't. First of all, I don't think either team's going to run the ball effectively. I don't think that that's going to be a factor in this game. I think that it's going to be a shootout. I think the final score is going to be both teams in the 30s. It's just me, over 60 points scored. And that's, it's not knocking either defense. I just think it's Tom Brady in the Super Bowl and it's Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. And truly, you know, I think if Mahomes wins this matchup, he's well on his way to becoming the new GOAT. You know, he's already, you know, set up for the title. You know, he's already, at this point, if he won this, he'd be a 2-time Super Bowl champion, potentially 2-time Super Bowl MVP. He's already won the league MVP, you know, setting all kinds of records and stuff. And, you know, Brady was really good at this point, and it, you know, when he was Mahomes' age. But he didn't, I don't believe, he did not win back-to-back Super Bowls that early on in his career. You know, it's going to be interesting. If Mahomes does, then I think he will be well on his way to becoming the new GOAT. And I think when all is said and done that he will be. You know, that's a bit of a bold prediction. You know, it's hard to say what's going to happen in the next couple years. You know, no one expected, you know, in the mid-2010s that the Chiefs would end up being a dynasty. You know, there's so many pieces that just fell into place for them. But I do think that the Chiefs are going to win this game. I think it's going to be close. I don't think there's going to be like a blowout and a comeback or anything like that. You know, I think it's going to stay pretty even, you know, through the whole game. I see, you know, I think Mahomes will probably win the MVP for the game. I think he's going to throw for over 300 yards, and that's, you know, saying a lot against the Buccaneers defense. They're really good. And I think Brady will throw for about 250, and, you know, maybe like 3 touchdowns. Like I said, you know, maybe the run, I think the only place the running game is going to be effective is in the red zone. But we'll have to see how that turns out, you know. It's interesting because there's some vets on the Buccaneers that, you know, haven't made a Super Bowl or haven't made a Super Bowl in a long time. Like, Antonio Brown's never made one. Gronkowski's been a couple years. Brady's back there. LaShawn McCoy's back to his 2nd straight Super Bowl because he won one with the Chiefs last year. Kind of interesting, you know, he's a chance to win another one, you know, considering he could never do it in Philly. You know, it's just an interesting veteran group. I don't believe Ndamukong Suh's played in a Super Bowl. And so I was wrong about that. I totally forgot that Ndamukong Suh played for the Rams for a year, made it to that Super Bowl. But my point being is that there's a lot of veterans in the Buccaneers that have a shot at either winning their first or another Super Bowl title. And it's an interesting factor to point out, but I just think that the youth of the Chiefs is going to outweigh the experience of the Buccaneers because, you know, there's not as many players on the Buccaneers that have experience in these situations, and most of the Chiefs roster is exactly the same as last year. And I don't know, I just feel like Andy Reid is going to outcoach. I feel like he's going to outcoach Bruce Arians in this game. You know, the Chiefs had that insane game against the Buccaneers in the regular season, which I haven't mentioned yet. I can't believe I forgot to mention this. Where Tyreek Hill had over 200 yards receiving in the first quarter. You know, it ended up catching up and he didn't have too many more afterwards. But it's pretty crazy that that was even able to happen. And that's why I think that the Chiefs are going to win, is because they've already dominated the Buccaneers like this. And yeah, the Bucs ended up coming back and they didn't win, but they made it a close game. So the final score made it seem way closer than it really was. It's just the Chiefs kind of took a rest towards the end of the game. But my point is that the Chiefs have destroyed the Buccaneers this season. They know what they're up against. You know, I don't think there's any new players on this team. Maybe Antonio Brown, I'm not quite sure. I'm not going to fact check that, but I'm fairly certain that he wasn't on the team yet. And it's just, I'm really looking forward to this game. It's going to be a good one now that I think about it. You know, I really wanted Buffalo and Green Bay to play each other. That was really what I was hoping for, but, you know, this game will still probably be really good, and it's going to be interesting to see, you know, maybe, you know, if this is Brady's last shot at another Super Bowl. That's going to be crazy, and, you know, will Mahomes cement his legacy as the future GOAT? We'll have to see what happens, but, you know, I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. And so I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And so, my plans for this channel after this game, because this is the last preview I'm going to be doing for another, you know, 6 some odd months. It's gonna be a crazy long wait for football. You know, that was the benefit of having the XFL for a minute last year, was that we had some football after the Super Bowl. You know, obviously they didn't get to play out their whole season, but I do wish we had something like that this year. Next year we will, which is pretty exciting. But, you know, I'm gonna be doing some free agency predictions and some trade predictions, as well as hopefully some draft related content. I'm not the best person to refer to about that kind of stuff. I'm not a huge college guy, but I've been paying attention to some draft prospects as of late, and I got to see like all the Senior Bowl practices and the Senior Bowl, and it opened my eyes to a couple guys that, you know, I didn't have my eye on before. So I'm hoping to do a couple draft-related videos, but mostly free agency stuff moving on forward. Potentially some lists and spotlight videos like I did for Bud Dupree. I'm hoping to do some of those in the offseason. So be sure to stay tuned for this channel. And so again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.